life is one of those like really weird things, and like my own personal experiences in life. Okay, so I'm like, this is expanding into a broadcast. I have no idea where this is going to go. I know what I'd like to do in a perfect world, and I've given myself a certain amount of time to see what can happen, right? I remember when I was originally doing the podcast, like, is anyone paying attention to this damn thing? And I was like episode 120. It's like, I'm gonna give it the 150. I'm gonna quit. And literally, when I did that, the next day I get myself like a nomination for an award, and I won that award that year, another Canadian award. It's like, well, someone's paying attention after all, right? And and it's not something I expected. I find that any endeavor, you never go exactly where you imagine you go, but sometimes that's not a bad thing. Sometimes it actually means it's actually going to be something better. So,
what was it Donovan said yesterday? He hopes we go to where I run out of skin.
Yeah. You're gonna have to explain yourself.
Well, I've made it kind of a tradition so far, where every time we get a new hero that the first book is being done, like actually funded and stuff, I get them tattooed to me. Mm-hmm. So Donovan was like, "Well, hopefully we go to you run out of skin."
Oh, okay. That's okay. That makes that. And then at that point, you're like, "Okay, I'm out." So Joe, if you get to the point where he's out of skin to tattoo, will you join him and get a tattoo yourself?
At that point, I think we'd probably be on Oprah or something like that.
Well, see, that'd be a cool show segment. It's like, you know what, we got this far, bam, you know. But
I can show you. I got two. So I got Pathway and Center Ice so far.
All right. So we'll get a quick look here.
There's Pathway.
Move yourself a little.
Camera aimed right.
A little over to the little direction, other way.
These cameras are stupid.
Almost.
A little more to the side.
There we go. What the fuck? Way. I hate cameras. There we go.
There you go.
There you go.
I get the side of it.
I hate these cameras. Let's see. Here's this way a little bit easier. Center Ice. There you go.
That is really cool. So now, Jeremiah, obviously, you have a say in a lot what these characters look like, and kind of have a sense of where you go. So, in terms of the collaborative process, I wish Donovan was here because I'm sure he'd have his own 2 cents about this. But in terms of the collaborative process, so when you guys come up with these different heroes and different causes, do you guys just all kind of like brainstorm, like, okay, what cause do we want to kind of make aware next? And then you think about the story you want to tell. Is that kind of how that works, or is it like, you know? I also just know this from my own stuff. You stumble onto things just asking for them. I mean, that's how I got this interview.
We had an idea of several causes we wanted to do.
Yeah.
But basically, the way it worked after Pathway is we just sent out emails to every foundation for every cause that we could think of, and it happened to be the American Cancer Society who responded first.
Okay.
So and then they had a patient lined up, which was Weston, and we based it off of him.
Okay. Okay, so and that's going to be like your approach with every other like character. Like, you're going to find a cause, whoever answers the bell. So, and then
since we give all the proceeds to charity, we want to have a charity ready to go to receive those funds.
No, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. I'm just like, okay. So I'm going to ask another fun question then, because obviously you've been building these individual heroes. Mm-hmm. So you're going to do a team, like you're going to have like an Avengers-esque kind of thing.
We have the Heroes for Causes title, and the 4 was kind of reminiscent of the 4 in Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. So the idea is to have our core 4 as our Fantastic Four, our core team, and then to expand that as we grow. So we want the 4, probably the 4 first characters. I guess we'll kind of play it by ear, but have those as our core team, as our Avengers, our Fantastic Four, and then to grow from there as we bring on more causes and more individuals.
Okay. So obviously you mentioned the Amazing Spider-Man, your one of your big influences on this. So Captain Planet was another one. So is there anything else that you guys kind of want to incorporate, like to create that feeling or the vibe you're going for?
From an artistic standpoint, I don't know, McFarlane's a big influence on us. Obviously, we've done a homage to Amazing Spider-Man 298 with Pathway. and then the lightheartedness of kind of, the late 80s Amazing Spider-Man when McFarlane kind of took over for that run. And kind of our art style, we've been pushing towards a little of the early Spawn to kind of give it that retro flavor a little bit. Back when comics weren't so deep and dark and they were lighthearted and stuff like that. And yeah, a little bit of that retro vibe in the style of the pencils. I think Donovan embodies that really well. Kieran with the inks. And so it was cool because we were going towards that early Spawn vibe and that, late 80s Amazing Spider-Man vibe. And when other people are picking up the books and they're like, oh, this kind of reminds me of Spawn from the 90s, we're like, yes, perfect. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
I mean, it didn't hurt that we got props from McFarlane on our cover either. But
no, it's humbling. I mean, I imagine for him, that's a humbling thing. Like I'm a big Ninja Turtle guy. I love the Kevin Eastman Ninja Turtle run. I mean, if I ever do a homage to somebody, it's probably going to be him. And it's always humbling to actually get that experience, right? I mean, maybe one day, Jeremiah, you might see it. I mean, you might see people cosplaying as yourself. I mean, that's going to be a surreal moment.
That'd be amazing, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Well, you'd be surprised. I'm going to say this, man. I mean, honestly, if you're giving as much hope as Joseph's saying, the kids you're touching now are going to remember what you did for them. We all do. We all remember the people that were there for us when we needed. We were our most vulnerable. Yeah. You're showing up and you're making and just something you may see down the road. It might be a surreal thing. Everything you're doing now, no matter where it leads you, is going to have an impact. And when it does, it sometimes it's incredibly humbling. And I'm speaking from my own experiences there. I mean, what you're doing is very big. I think like Joe's not kidding. It's super heroic. I mean, you're going in you're someone that's there that a lot of these kids can relate to yourself because of all the battles you fought. The fact that you're still here, that is huge in itself. But the fact that you're going out of your way to say, hey, listen, life can go on. That's an amazing message. And the kids that go through, that make it through this part of the journey are going to remember people like you far into the long run. And I mean, I'm just saying, stuff like this makes an impact. And I mean, expect the worst is not a bad philosophy, but it's okay to say, hey, you did good. You did really good. I'm just saying, man. You never know. You truly don't. Everything you do leads somewhere. And that's if there's one thing I can say, then what you've done is really, really impressive, man, honestly. So
appreciate that.